Okay, wow, that happened fast. It went live. Popped right up there. Okay, great. So give me a minute just to get all my screens arranged, you guys. Always does that. It goes live before it tells me.
Okay, wow, that happened fast. It went live.
Hang on. Now I'm
right up there. Okay.
repeating myself. There we go. That's better. Okay, so Errol, I see you said kind of the same question. Why won't they leave? And if there was a comment before that, it's not showing up. It sounds like you're talking to someone. So if you guys typed a comment before Errol, you're going to have to retype it. Sorry. Hi, Kelly. Thanks for being here. I'm missing a screen. So that's what I'm looking for right now. So let me find that. It's always an adventure doing this live stream because it does weird stuff. Sometimes it opens the window and sometimes it doesn't, which is really, really wacky. There we go. Okay. Now I found the window I was looking for. So I still don't see any other questions before Errol's. I'm sorry, you guys, if you came in and put a question up there before, it's not showing up for me. So if you could repeat it, that would be great. And Errol, kind of the same question. So you're going to have to tell me what the question is because I don't have a clue. Why won't they leave? Who do you mean, the aliens or somebody else? Oh, the dark energies. They want to preach the Bible and argue. Oh, yeah. Isn't that tedious? But you know what it is? If you watched the Monday, the June forecast that I put up from Metatron, that's just where we're going right now. The dark forces have been gathering energy for a really long time. They've been waiting for this opportunity. And now just all the elements have come together. We are moving into that opportunity for the great shift. So they have reinforced what they're doing and really brought it on heavy. So we're feeling it. If you've been feeling fatigued, out of sorts, just, not yourself, that's probably what it's about because those energies are totally intense. And, I talked about it in my email on Sunday, if you got that it's just been a really wacko couple of weeks, with all of the horrible news that we've had, plus the war, and then these crazy energies. It's just been totally exhausting. So it's a wonder any of us have our heads still up. But here's the cool thing. We have prepared for this. We are ready for this. So it's just a matter of understanding what's going on, letting it go, releasing it, getting yourself back into the flow, doing that self-care so that you can stand up for it, and then linking arms with all the other light workers, because together we will empower ourselves. We'll bring in more strength and fortitude so that we can continue on. Let me know if that makes sense, Errol. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's the timing for them. That's why it's happening. We have been preparing for this. We are ready. And so for us, it's about taking action. Wherever you feel inspired to take that action, get out there and do it. That will also help you feel better because you'll be doing something. So let's see. Hey, T-Bar, glad you're here. Bertha, hi. Warrior Girl, hi. Kelly, no other questions? Okay, great. I thought maybe it chopped them off. Sometimes it does that. Hi, Rachel. Glad you could be here. Jennifer, can we chat about Metatron's message on the population control? Just to be clear, are these humans behind the population decrease? Is COVID one of the decrease methods? Yes, COVID is one of the decrease methods. And it's partly human. It's also partly Earth is kind of collaborating in that, because in order for her to move forward into fourth dimension, she needs to heal. Part of her healing is, sadly, getting rid of some of the humans on the Earth that are not being helpful. But there's also human intervention in that. So it's kind of a mixed bag, if that makes sense. But it's all for the greater purpose. So it's not like we want to get into a place of assigning blame or, even going down that road. It's here. We have to deal with it. That's what's important for us to know. So we knew a lot of people were going to exit the Earth with COVID because their souls had come here for that purpose. You know, they did not want to stay longer. They knew that this big shift was going to be massive. It's going to be difficult, which we're just starting to feel. And I don't want to scare you, but it is going to get more intense. We can handle it, but it is going to get more intense. So they didn't want to go through that. And they said, hey, I'll be here, you know, I'll hang out for a while, but I don't want to stay when the shift goes on. I'm going to exit, come back another time after you've got this all sorted out. But those of us who agreed as light workers to be here for this time, it's incumbent upon us to do what we can to take good care of ourselves, to strengthen ourselves, stay in the flow as much as we can, and we will get through this. It's just not going to be a lot of fun for part of the time. But fun, of course, find ways to incorporate fun anyway. Don't let it steal the fun from you, because that won't help. We need to be in that uplifting energy that fun brings to us. So it's all part of us staying on our path, staying in the light, keeping our heads up, knowing that it is going to be all right, and having fun. Always remembering what your purpose is here. Don't let them distract you from that, because that's a big part of what they're doing, is they're distracting. And that's how they can beat us, if they totally distract us. So we want to stay on point. Let me see if I got the rest of your question. So yeah, the population control, that's part of what the dark forces are doing, because they've noticed that there aren't enough resources on Earth. And the ones who are in charge at the very top, you know, they're greedy. They want more and more and more. So in order to have more and more and more, they've got to have fewer people. It will simplify things for them. It will allow more resources to be available and easier for them to control when there are fewer. So it's all kind of a big ball, you know, think like a big skein of yarn that you're rolling up into this ball, and it's all mixed together, and it's very messy, really messy, but we can handle it. That's why we're here. Alyssa, you had surgery on your eyelids May 20th. That same night your dad fell and had a brain bleed, came home with black and blue eyes and stitches just like you. What was the connection? Wow. Wow. Well, first, Alyssa, I have to say, I don't do personal questions on the metaphysical chat, but I'm going to make an exception, because that's just gobsmacked wow, right? So let's just see. The mirroring is just wow. I don't know what else to say. So what can you tell us about this thing with Alyssa and her dad and the mirroring symptoms? Because that can't be a coincidence. What is that about? They said, well, we wanted to get your attention, and we did that, right? So now it's up to you to start paying more attention, to tune in to the messages that are coming, because it was like, wow, that is a wake-up call for you. It's like somebody in this darkest of dark night came out and turned on the floodlights. You can't not see that. It's there. It's right in your face. That's about as in your face as it can get, Alyssa. So that's what it was about. They wanted to get your attention. Now, what will you do about it? What will your dad do about it? Is he tuned in? Might he do something about it? Or was this all about you? So that's what you've got to figure out. Kelly says, Mercury retrograde ending has been a huge energy lift for you. Oh, I'm so glad. I don't normally have any impact from those retrogrades. I just don't allow that to be my reality. So I don't know if that's what it was, or if it just, you know, was heaping on top of everything else. Maybe that's why so many people were feeling it. But yeah, it's been really intense. It has, the last couple of days, it started to feel better. And if you listen to the June forecast, Metatron did say that things were going to ease up in the second week of June. So we're already starting to feel a little bit of that lightning. You know, our teams, our angels, they're not going to let us get so overwhelmed that we're pummeled to the ground. They're going to intervene in whatever way they can to bring us those moments where we can get the lightness, to get out ahead of it, to catch our breath, and then join arms and lift up that strength again to do whatever it is that we need to do in that moment. But, you know, with all the shootings and the bad news, it's been really tough, even for the most advanced light workers. It's been tough because it's an onslaught of bad news. So process it. You don't want to ignore it. You know, it's not about pretending those things aren't happening, because they are. And if we pretend they didn't happen, then we miss the opportunity for the sacrifice that those people made to actually have an impact. You know, when I think about the kids from the Parkland shooting, how they're now activists, they're working towards making this world a better place. Yeah, they're living with PTSD. And how horrible is that? Their childhood was interrupted. They had to mature very rapidly under very trying circumstances. And I'm sure they're probably still dealing with PTSD. Now we have these little 11 and 10-year-olds who are certainly traumatized and are going to be dealing with a lot of PTSD. But that seems to be part of this process. And then you think back to the trauma that the people went through in the Second World War. That just seems to be something that happens in a cyclical fashion that's part of the stew that's necessary in order to bring all these pieces together. I don't know if I'm making any sense, you guys, but that's just how I'm seeing it. So we don't want to get into a place of feeling sorry or pitying those survivors. We want to honor what they went through, offer them support and strength so that they can move into their purpose in being here, being those leaders, bringing on the change, because we do need that. So let's see, where did we go? Rachel, can we talk about the energy shifts in the body in meditation? Yeah, it's interesting that you say that, Rachel, because I just I watched a video from my friend Linda Lang about that very thing. She had a podcast where the lady she was interviewing was talking about how our bodies are tuning in and reacting more. So what I have noticed for myself over the past couple of years is that more and more the connections, I'm actually feeling things in my body that I didn't feel before. It's like our bodies are these magnificent machines, and we've got like this, it's probably our golden web that's around all of us. It's got sensors in it. So we're able to pick up all kinds of information, you know, like sonar does. And it's just that we weren't conscious of it before. Now that we're becoming conscious of it, we're starting to get it. Like Linda in her group, which is called Soul Shine Alchemy on Facebook, if you want to pop in there. In her group, every Tuesday, she posts 3 tarot cards. And it's, look at these cards, pick your card, and then tomorrow I'm going to give you the channeled reading that goes with it. So what I have noticed over maybe the last year or so is that when I look at those pictures, it's no longer a matter of guessing which one I want. I can see that one card looks different than the others. They don't look different. I'm seeing them with a different eye, with the third eye. The energy is coming forward. And likewise with our entire body, you might feel things in your solar plexus. You might just, you know, as some people used to get that little chill, or the hair on the back of the neck, whatever it is, it's always been there. It's part of the instinctual apparatus that we came with, but we weren't always tuned into it because we went more into the intellectual pursuits, right? So we weren't tuned into the instinctual side. So for all of you, as you become more aware, paying attention to those little shifts in your body, it's like telegraphing to you information that you can now get sooner, right? Because your mind takes a little while to catch up to process what your eyes saw through your brain so that you can get it. But if you're feeling it through your body, you're getting it way faster, so you can react faster. And I'm sure that that's something we're going to need as we move further and further into the psychic battle that we're stepping into. Does that make sense? Let me know. Alyssa, okay, you're chatting with Warrior Girl. T-Barb, yes, we can handle it. We are strong. Yes, we are. We are stronger than we know. And we have to believe that too, right? It's not just something nice that we say to one another. It really is true. We've been training for this for lifetimes. So now is the time, and it is so worth the effort. The visions that I've seen, and maybe you've seen, about what is to come are just phenomenal. And it's worth all of that effort to get there. Bertha, a bird just came inside your house from under the door and then you let them out. Wow. Do you know what kind of bird it was? Because if you do, you could look up the symbolism of that bird, probably get a bigger message. But Oh my gosh, talk about your angels getting your attention, right? That is phenomenal. Eleutheria, I'm so glad to see you. I was cleaning up my inbox today and I saw your address, and I think I owe you a response from a really long time ago, but I did see that. So I'm going through those. It's 2 a.m. in Greece. Bless you for being here. So if you've got a question, you be sure and get that in there. Melinda, hey, you're walking again? You're doing a second walk today? I'm so glad you tuned in. I was just listening to your podcast a little while ago. It was phenomenal, talking about how being in the flow and allowing things to come are just making yours and Ryan's life so much easier. If you guys haven't tuned into Melinda's podcast, you should. It's the Good Karma Success Coach, and her husband is a fisherman, Captain Ryan, in the Florida Keys. And he was talking about using that flow is what makes him so successful in his fishing endeavors when he takes clients out, because he tunes into that. And it doesn't matter if the weather's bad or if conditions aren't perfect. When he's in the flow, it all turns out okay. And he gives his clients a wonderful, satisfying experience. And it's so true about the big things and the little things. It's being in the flow and allowing those things to come together for us. And, you know, your angels are out there doing their curling act where they're smoothing the path in front of you so that those things can come together. You can have that greater, better experience. Melinda, you might want to put your link in the chat if you didn't already, so people can check out your podcast. Alyssa says, thank you. Sorry to ask a personal question. So upsetting. I understand. No problem. It was really, like I said, it was a big wow. So I'm sure it had benefit for others who were listening. That's never a bad thing, Alyssa. Thanks for being here. Dakota Charm, can you talk about grounding ourselves during the dark times? Your mom fell 2 weeks ago, and a caution cone ended up in the back of your truck the day before her fall. Wow. I don't know if you were expected to put that together or not, but probably what that was about was the caution cone was there. It was unusual. It caught your attention. So it was like alerting you that something was going to be coming up that you needed to be aware of. But unless you were there with your mom, I don't know how it would have helped you. So it seems like it was two separate incidences, but maybe the whole point of it was simply to point out to you that, yeah, you are more aware than you ever were before. Keep doing that. Those are exactly the kind of things you want to pick up on, because what if that caution cone was there because there was a potential accident you could have gotten in that day with your truck? By seeing that caution cone, you were just more alert and you avoided that accident. That's exactly how these messages happen. We'll get those teeny tiny little things. If we notice it and we do something about it, even if it's just being more alert, then we can avert potential problems or even disasters. That's how our angels are helping us all the time. So many things they do for us that we don't even have a clue about. But now, as Rachel asked about the, the energy and the connection, we are tuning in. We're starting to see, notice, and then take action. So more, I think it's just the awareness they're trying to build into you. So it's like you're getting your lessons from the angels. They're giving them to you piece by piece so that you can collect all that data, put it together into this big book. And now you've got your manual that you can follow, right? So it's like, okay, if I see something out of the ordinary, it's not just a random thing. It's something I need to pay attention to and then choose what I do about it. Alyssa says, I don't know how I could have prevented it, but I will pray and meditate more. Yeah, that's always good. And it's not necessarily that you were supposed to prevent it, Alyssa. Maybe it needed to happen so that you would get that message. And thank goodness there was nothing serious for either of you, other than the bruises and the discomfort. And perhaps by having that experience, just like Dakota Charm, you are now more alert so that it might in the future come in handy. You'll notice it sooner and you will avoid something, or you may notice something that you need to take positive action towards that would be really delicious and you don't want to miss it. So it's all of that stuff. Hopefully that makes sense. T-Barb, you never feel the astrological things, but you feel great throughout. That's awesome. Yeah. That's my philosophy. It's like, if you believe that that's going to cause you a problem, then it will cause you a problem. So why not believe that it doesn't affect you? And then most of the time, if not all the time, that can be your truth, which is really wonderful. Oh, that's lovely. People are sending prayers to you, Alyssa. KTC, I sometimes struggle with feeling like I'm a burden to my angel. Any helpful advice in breaking that down? Yeah, this is something I've talked about before, but I can't remember where it was, probably in a video somewhere. Here's the thing that you need to understand. The angels serve you, you don't serve them. So you can't be a burden to them. Their whole purpose for being, and I'm serious about this, this is not a joke, this is not an exaggeration. Their whole purpose for being is to serve you. You have a team that was assigned specifically to you, to nobody else. Now you can bring in extras from time to time for special things that you need help with, and then they will go on and help others. But your core team, which is Legion, is always with you every single lifetime. They belong to you. They serve you. They do whatever they can to help you have a better life, to live your purpose, to be happier, have more joy. So you can't ask too much of them. How could you be a burden? They don't have anything else to do except serve you. So keep them busy. That's what they want. Keep them going so they don't have to sit around and play tiddlywinks, right? That's kind of boring. They've been waiting for eons for you to get to this place where you're more awakened and can connect and, have conversations with them so that they could actually do something for you. They do a lot behind the scenes and, all of this other stuff we've been talking about, but actually interacting with you, that's what they crave. So talking to them, paying attention, taking action when they give you messages, they love that so much. Make their day. So more of that would be really wonderful. Let me know if that helps. Alyssa says, thank you for the perspective on trauma. Yeah, you're welcome. So much of the things that we get in our life that lead us astray and bring us down, it's all about our perspective. If we simply change the way we look at things, it makes all the difference in the world. Like when I was a kid, I had a horrible inferiority complex, and I felt like I was below everybody. They were all walking over me. And I would make up in my head these things that they thought about me or said about me, but I had no way of knowing if that was true. It was just because I had that really bad self-esteem issue. So later, when I connected and found out all of this truth about how we are so marvelous and brilliant, as Creator says that we should love ourselves as the perfect beings that we are. When I got all that, then I also got, all of those times when you think that this person had these thoughts about you or said these things about you probably were entirely wrong, because the honest and goodness truth is they're not even thinking about you most of the time. They're thinking about their own stuff and what other people are thinking about them. How crazy is that? We make ourselves nuts with this stuff, and it's so unnecessary. Instead, somebody looks at you, and in the past you would have gotten a negative vibe from that. You can instead say, oh, wow, they're looking at me and they think I've got it all together. And how wonderful is that? Because you're writing your story. You are the author of your story. You get to decide what those things are. And it will be true. It's not like you're making it up. You are creating your reality. So why not create the very best one? Why put all this negative stuff on yourself? So anytime you feel yourself being pulled into that, where you're going on the downside and having all these negative thoughts, flip the script or swipe your electronic device, let that negative crap go and write a new story that's happy and uplifting, empowering. That will help you on your journey so much. It will change your life. It was transformational for me because I was at a place where it was incongruent to me that people even loved themselves. I didn't understand how that was possible. What was there to love? Wow, what a transformation when I got that. Here's Creator saying, I love you to the moon and back. So how can I say back to Creator, I'm worthless? No. I'm going to call Creator a liar, not on your life. No. So I'm accepting what Creator says. I'm embodying it, loving myself as this marvelous, magnificent being, just as each and every one of you are. So try to let that soak in. Try to live that truth. watch your life and your world change. You'll be so much more in the flow. You'll be so much happier. And you're going to need that, by the way, when we march together to Earthtopia. There's no room for any of that crappy low self-esteem stuff, because we are powerful warriors. We're bringing it. Okay, let me find where I left off here. There aren't very many questions in the chat, you guys, so bring them on, whatever you got. So KTC, you were the one who asked that question. Let me know if that helps, if that gave you the boost you needed. So Errol, let me get this right. The Bible scare is their game. Oh, you're talking about the dark people. Yeah, yeah. Because throughout centuries, people in power have used the Bible and other kinds of religion, not just the Bible, of course, but whatever your spiritual beliefs are. And even if it's in the time of the gods and goddesses in Greece and Rome, all that mythology, they used those stories to control people. It was never about uplifting and empowering, wanting them to have the best life. It was about controlling them so they could get what they wanted. Usually that was because they needed the slave labor, or they got off on having people that they could control. Who knows what their nefarious reasons are? There are many, and it's usually about power and money. So it's all that dark stuff, that corruption of power and money. That's what we're going to be breaking through. There will be none of that in Earthtopia. That is gone, because all souls are equal. None is better than another. Creator says that. Even if we as third dimensional humans would look at that person like a Charles Manson and think that they're the scum of the earth, whatever we might think about them, Creator still looks at them and says, my beloved child, I love you to the moon and back. Because Creator sees from that place of wisdom. This soul is just in an earlier stage of their development. They're a newer soul. They've got a lot of that dark stuff they've got to work through before they do better. And they will get many more chances. That soul will go on and have many more lifetimes. There will be karma for those bad choices. And that's how we learn, just like little children. You make a mistake, you get burned if you touch the hot stove, and you learn not to do that. So as souls, we're here having these experiences, getting the lessons from the things that didn't work out so that we can make more empowered choices the next time. It's really that simple. We're the ones who make it complicated. So if we can simplify it and start really, truly seeing one another as the beautiful, perfect souls that they are, that will make a world of difference. Now, that being said, of course, we don't throw away all the rules of the third dimensional world. We're not going to let people run all over us, steal and kill and all those things. We do have to have some controls, but we can still separate ourselves from that and see them as a beautiful, perfect soul. And then have that love for them as that beautiful, perfect soul, while at the same time, separating the third dimensional reality of who and what they are. And that's not easy. That is a huge part of our struggle. So as much as we can, we want to lean into that. And I know a few of the readers, the tarot readers that I listen to, and some of you do as well, have talked about this, that we don't want to go into that negative energy of looking down on them, calling them names, wishing bad things for them. That hurts us. It boomerangs back. So we want to stay away from that stuff. Let karma take care of them. It will, just as it will take care of us. We've had our own bouts with it and we've learned. So it's equal for everybody. Let me know if that makes sense. Rachel, it makes sense. You feel a shift from your head to your body, which is really interesting. Yeah. And the other thing is, Rachel, in the past, this would have happened over maybe a whole lifetime. But right now we're in this very condensed, accelerated period. So we're seeing it speed up. It's happening so much faster than ever before, which is why we're way more aware of it than we might have been otherwise. So pay attention to it. What you see, take note of it, write it down, connect the dots to what it means for you, because there are messages in everything. If we just take the time to listen, to look, to absorb, that's what our part of the equation is. Our guides and angels are bringing it to us. We need to process it and then decide what we're going to do about it. Alteria, you want to ask about something Metatron. Oh, I'm not sure what you're saying. You want to ask something Metatron with my help. Just put in there what you want to ask, Alteria. And if I'm messing up your name, I'm sorry. Doing the best I can. Melinda says, thank you. Yes, 2 a day now if you can. Really helps. That's fabulous. Really amazing. Yeah, I've been on Melinda's podcast a lot of times, and there are some fabulous meditations there, you guys, in the archives. So it's well worth listening to. And she's got tremendous information to share with you. Melinda is in the zone. She's living a magical, manifesting life that it's taken her a while to get there. But now that she's gotten there, she's teaching other people, helping them to get into alignment with their manifesting ability, because we all have it. It's just a matter of doing those tweaks, getting into the flow and alignment, and then doing it, which makes life just feel so delicious every single day. Sancha, greetings back to you. Thanks for being here. KT says it helps. Oh, I'm so glad. Bertha, you'll check it out. Rachel, the species go extinct when they don't adapt. We evolved through managing the dangers from nature. What do you think the extent of our adaptation to the digital world would be? Let me see. What I get from that, Rachel, is, back in the time of Lemuria and Atlantis, they were more advanced. They were more into the digital stuff. And perhaps as souls, they weren't mature enough to handle it, because it did tilt off into a dark way. And that's why those societies moved on into another dimension. They're no longer here. In our past, and some of us were probably there, right? We've had lifetimes there. So we've got that in our past where we were actually way more advanced than we are now. And then there was that big setback where it all collapsed in on itself. And it was almost like, let's scrap that and start over again. So, again, building back from there, adding on lifetime after lifetime, collecting more data. Because normally, before this lifetime, the advancement that we would make in a single lifetime would be, minuscule compared to what we're doing this one. The vibrational frequency is rising through every lifetime, but in some, it would maybe be 1/10, some not any at all. Now in this one, we're jumping 4 and 5/10 ahead. So it's tremendous. And now a 10th doesn't sound like very much, but from that soul vibrational frequency perspective, it's a lot. It's mammoth. And that's why some of us are really feeling, like we're that super person, that Stretch Armstrong is really getting stretched right now. But we can handle it, or it wouldn't be happening. So it's just find as much comfort as you can, keep flowing forward, because the discomfort will come in spells. It's not going to come all at once, knocking you flat. They're going to bring it to you in waves so that you can process and handle it, which is what we're going through now. So, people are having trouble with sleep. They're feeling, the fatigue, maybe the flu symptoms, whatever it manifests as for you. The leg cramps, those can be really bad, right? Or any other kind of cramps, because our DNA is being rewritten. That's massive. While we're living in this body, the DNA is changing. I don't even know how to describe that. But when you mentioned the species going extinct, Rachel, you reminded me, it's been a few years ago. I had a conversation with Panda Bears. And there was a question about what's going on with the panda bears, because they can't breed anymore. They have to be artificially inseminated. People have to help them so that they can procreate. What I got from the pandas is they saw that their world was getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Earth was no longer to support them the way it used to. So they had made a conscious decision to stop breeding and go extinct, because there was no point in them being here anymore. They would probably already be extinct if man wasn't intervening, men and women, of course, to cause them to still be here. And that was like, wow, that's huge, that they would consciously choose not to continue. And, some people have done that too. They've chosen not to procreate They don't want to bring more children into this crazy mixed up world. Things are bad right now. So we actually, as sovereign souls, we have the right to make those kind of decisions. But let me get back to your question and see if I really got it. Our adaptation to the digital world. I'm not sure what that's going to look like, Rachel. I don't see it as, we're going to be having all these artificial parts like the Borg or something. It's not going to be like that. Although, there might be some things where, like now they're doing heart transplants, kidney transplants, things like that. Those might be somehow electronic devices that get implanted. But I don't see it as we become more robotic or anything like that. So let me know if that answers your question, because I'm not sure what else might have been behind that. Jermaine, hey, great to see you. It's been a while. Somebody tried to control a group of us and obtain our intuitive abilities. I think we're clear now, but will this kind of duplicity increase? Yes, it will. Absolutely. So thanks for calling it out, sounding the alarm, because right now there are a lot of dark forces doing whatever they can to survive. That's what it's about for them, surviving. They've got to beat us to survive. They feel that way. We're not trying to kick them out. They're the ones who feel that way. But, to them, it's all about you've got to defeat the other side in order for you to thrive. And it's just so not true. So partly we will be demonstrating for them by the way we live and the choices that we make that that's not true. And that will change some of them. But there will be others who just aren't ready to change. They'll stay there. So yeah, we need to be aware of that. We don't want to go around in fear. We want to rely upon our angels, and you can call your angels, ask them to put a protective bubble around you to keep those dark forces at bay, to keep that energy outside of your energy field so that it doesn't come in and impact you, to alert you when it gets close, then to assist you in making the most empowered choices to keep yourself away from that stuff, right? We don't want to think about it a lot and engage with the negative darkness, if that makes sense. So being aware of it is one thing, but don't dive into it too deep. So you want to balance is what you want to do. And just know that your angels are going to be there supporting you every step of the way. So it's not something you need to worry about a lot, but awareness is good. So thanks for sounding that alarm for us. Bertha says it was a sparrow. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, Bertha, we were talking a little bit ago about how Creator sees us all as equal, right? And you might remember there's something in the Bible about, Creator caring about even the sparrow, and how much more Creator must care about you, where in truth it's all equal because we're all creations, so we're all equally loved. But yeah, so we're all the sparrows and being cared for, being supported. That's why we all have these amazing angel and guide teams. That's how much Creator cared for us, to give us that gift, not to turn us loose to our own devices, but to give us this support team who would be always there for us. So yeah, that's really beautiful. KTC says to Jermaine, control a whole group to use your skills. That's terrible, like a psychic attack. Yeah, so I guess Jermaine will answer at some point. I think that's what she was talking about, KTC. That's what it felt like to me. So Elfteria says she's in Athens from January. Friends gave her a place to stay until she could find a regular home. And another friend will be away from the home till October. So what is best? Okay. So I'm not doing personal readings on this, you guys, but I'm going to make an exception because I know you've been through the ringer with this living situation, Elfteria. So you're asking whether you should go with the other friend or stay in Athens? The friend with the home, would that be an optimal choice? No. For this and for anything like that, for all of you, tune into your intuition, your feelings. Feel your way through those questions. Does it feel good to stay in Athens? Is everything flowing there? Are you getting your needs met? Is it comfortable? And when you contrast that with the other opportunity, how does that feel in your body? Is there any trepidation about that? you know, any fear that it might not be a healthy situation for you. So you just want to weigh those options and then choose the one that feels the very best. Always, always, always choose the one that feels the very best. That's in your highest and best interest. That will serve you for everything. And they say this over and over because we need to keep hearing it until we get it. It's so simple, but we've made it complicated. Jermaine says, yes, it was. And the same physical ailments at the same time. Wow. That must have been a powerful entity. So what you could do, Jermaine, you could do a little clearing if you felt like you needed to. Just, you know, write out your intentions for whatever that group is, whatever you want to call it, and just release it to be transmuted to love by divine so that it doesn't bother you again. And, you know, shoot me an email if you need help with that. Hi, Beth. Great to see you here. No apologies necessary for the English, Elteria. I understand what you're saying. I think most of us can. So try what I suggested and let us know how that works out. KT says, I know what those dark things feel like. It's unpleasant, like a dark cloud hanging over you. Yeah. Almost like that rain cloud, right? And it moves with you whenever you move, and it's like you just can't get away from it. But that's on the third dimensional awareness level, right? From the energetic perspective, from your soul's perspective, all you need to do, because you create your reality, is say, be gone, and call your angels to help you get rid of it if you don't know how to do it yourself. But you have the power to do that, right? You have been given that authority over your life. You are creating your reality. So any of that stuff that doesn't serve you, just send it away. Tell it to get out and never come back. Steph, you did make it. I see you. Thanks for being here. KTC wants to know, will Stargates be used in the future? I think they will, but let's just see the guides have to say. Stargates. Will Stargates be a part of our reality in the future? Oh, big time. I get lots of big time yeses on that. And yeah, because as Earth moves into Earthtopia, we will no longer be a danger to those other planets. So that will open up so much opportunity for us to travel to other places, to commune with other beings, other planets. Yeah. So it will be something common, probably not in our lifetime, but one of our future lifetimes, certainly. And here's the cool thing. In a future lifetime, we could incarnate on one of those other planets, and then we could be coming to Earth and visiting because it would be safe to do that. Imagine that flip-flop of a perspective. That's what's the potential future. Because when you incarnate, you get to choose your planet. Now, if you've got a lot of karma to deal with here on Earth, you're probably going to come to Earth for a while. But at some point, you're going to have dealt with that enough that it will be okay for you to move on. So just imagine that. Now you can go back to your home planet. You can go to others that you may have visited in the past. You can go to brand new ones. And I don't know, you guys, this just hit me. I think there are new universes being created. I never thought about that before, but it just downloaded. As everything is expanding, yeah, new universes being created. We're going to have to see where that goes, because that's kind of a wallop upside the head. Warrior Girl, you learned recently that female elephants have evolved to being born without the tusk because of the humans. So sad. Wow. Well, that is survival of the species, isn't it? So that's pretty darn intelligent of them. It's too bad that has to be. Yeah. And you guys, in case you didn't know, you know, the Clinton Foundation, they gave $88 million from the Clinton Foundation to help save the elephants. I just was gobsmacked by that. You know, they can give their money to anything they want to. But those are the kind of things they choose to support, which says a lot. And I'll just let that lay there. Hi, Mike. Glad you could make it. Goddess Light, welcome. Happy to have you here. Warrior Girl's got a broken heart. Yeah. Just don't let it keep you down. You know, we see those things, we recognize that they're tragic, but we can't let it break us and knock us down because our work right now is just so important. Steph says we do complicate it, don't we? Yeah. You know, with the best of intentions most of the time. We just haven't gotten that greater perspective yet, which is what we're working on now. And that's okay. When you know better, you do better, as Maya Angelou said. That's what we're all working on. Oh, Eleftheria says that both the houses are in Athens with different owners. Thank you. Awesome. Anna, welcome. Thanks for being here. Sending love. Fun to see you. I wish I could see you. Warrior Girl says, go with the second option until October. One door closes, another opens. Thank you, Warrior Girl. Jennifer, you read there are several planets aligning this month. Do you know how that impacts us in general? Let's just ask about that, because I don't know. I don't do the astrology. I just kind of have it on a peripheral thing. So what can you tell us about planets aligning this month and how it might affect us? I'm hearing when Jupiter aligns with Mars, you know, the Aquarius sun. I don't know if that's what's going on or not, but that's what I just heard. Okay, so what can you tell us about the planets aligning? They're saying don't worry about it. Again, it's all about going with the flow. You don't want to get distracted by those things and pulled into somebody else's story about what's true, because what's true for you might not be true for somebody else. That's the truth. So yeah, we can take that input. We can decide if it matters to us or not. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not what the planets are doing. It's what you are doing right now as this awakened soul on this journey of expansion. So the stuff going on with the planets, we can't change that. We can't do anything about it. So we don't need to let it negatively impact us. If it's positive, we can accept that, right? But we don't have to take the negative. So it's just keep moving on your soul journey. No matter what else is going on out there, that at the crux of it is really what it's about and where we're at. Just like with those shootings and not getting distracted, with the politics and not getting distracted. Because, you know, there are people out there who are really good at distracting us, pulling us off of where we were going by something else that we care about. So we've got to be really careful in what we choose so that we stay on our path. We don't let those distractions pull us off and neuter us, right? Because that could so easily happen. You could get drugged down this really dark path and never get back. So it's always about being present in the moment, leaning on your angels, let them help you with this stuff. And if it doesn't feel right, if it's a little hinky, stay away from it. Let it go. Just don't follow it. No matter if somebody you admire follows it, because they could be wrong. Or because we have these different realities, it could be a good thing for them and not for you. I know this sounds really wacky and crazy, you guys, but that's just what's coming through. I hope it makes sense for you. And if you've got more questions about that, let me know. T-Barb says, will we be alive to experience at least the beginning of Earthtopia? Maybe. It's feeling like it's closer than we might have suspected. So, but again, the thing is, the timing is in flux with that, T-Barb. So depending upon the choices we make, how we move forward, how quickly we get more light workers on board, because remember, we need that critical mass before we can crest the hill into Earthtopia. So it's dependent upon the timing and bringing the people in that can go forward or backward. But the possibility definitely exists that you and I and everybody gathered here will be alive to experience at least a part of Earthtopia. And we're all going to be living longer. So we might experience way more than we even thought. In the Bible, it talks about, you know, when the second coming of Jesus, that the people would have like 1,000 years of peace. I don't remember if it actually said this or not, but I somehow had it in my head that meant that we would live that 1,000 years. Now that's, you know, that's, again, it's from the Bible. Take it with a grain of salt. Other religions probably have different things that they talk about. So we're not talking specifically about the second coming of Christ. That's not what Earthtopia is. Metaphorically, yeah, it probably is similar, but it's bigger. It's more inclusive. So yeah, I think you stay on your path, you go forward each day, you do the best that you can with this expectant excitedness about what is to come, but really just absorbing and enjoying the heck out of every day. Because remember, we came here to expand our consciousness, to do what feeds our soul, and to have a really good time. If we forget the really good time, we're missing a key component. There's a song in Godspell that talks about that. Oh, it's the song about you are the light of the world. And if you're missing this component, it would be kind of sad. That's part of the lyrics of that. So if you feel led, go look up You Are the Light of the World from Godspell on YouTube and listen to it. I love that song. It comes back to me in readings a lot because there's a lot packed into that song. And there's this actor, his first name is George. I can't remember his last name, but if you get the version where George is singing, it's a studio collaboration. That one is the very best because you get to see the energy of the singers. You get to see the expressions on their face. It's otherworldly amazing because you can see the love and the energy that they're pouring into that song. It takes me away every time. So take that with a grain of salt. It might do the same for you. It might not, but I really love it. But you just put me in mind of it. Okay, I lost my thread again. Where did we go? Warrior Girl says, karma is lifting for us, ascending. Yeah. Well, I think we're wiser now. We're making better choices. So there's more positive karma that we're creating. Because remember, everything is action and then consequences. So in every moment, we're creating karma. So if we start creating more good karma, then we're naturally going to have a better experience. And as we step into these more enlightened ways of living and being, especially in the way we interact with each other, then yeah, it's way more positive karma. And that's where we really get into that flow. We'll feel like we're not even touching the ground. It'll just be so wonderful. Kelly says, when we remember who we are, that we're light beings and light workers standing in the light, then no darkness can touch us. We must keep our focus on the long game, on the Earthtopia we desire. Amen. Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, that's it. Just stay on your path. Keep going forward. Don't let anything stop you. Stay on your purpose. Oh, and then Kelly continues, allow the darkness to swirl, knowing it can't touch you. Keep your eyes on the goal. The closer you get, the harder the dark energies will try to stop it, but they will fail. Yeah, they ultimately will fail. We know that they have to fail, but it's just a matter of how long that's going to take. So the more we stick together, keep that energy high, and just keep moving forward. Don't let it stop you. That's the thing, because the momentum, the energy that comes from that momentum is what helps keep you on the path. It's when you get stuck, something knocks you flat and you don't get right back up. Now you get into that clutches of the darker energy because your energy just kind of shuts down until you get back up and start moving forward again. So that's what you want to be aware of. When you're in those times where your manifestations all of a sudden stop, or they do things you don't want them to do, life feels kind of sucky, that just means that your energy has shut down. When you notice that, look around, make a new choice, and get moving as fast as you can. That gets your energy flowing. It helps bring the new positive manifestations and opportunities back into your life. So that's how you can stay on track. Just knowing that is super empowering. So kind of tuck that away in the back of your head, pull that out when you need it and use it. Steph says, thank you for sharing. You're so welcome. KTC says, Kelly, I wholeheartedly agree. It knows that we are powerful and is afraid. Yeah. I'm not sure how afraid it is, because I think some of them are just so bold. They're really moving forward, but they should be afraid because we are stronger than they are. Warrior Girl says that we're all starseeds having a human experience. Yeah, most of us. There are some here who actually originated on Earth. Last time I measured, it was 43%. So of the beings alive now on Earth, 43% actually originated here. So they wouldn't be star seeds. Unless you were on another planet, then they would be star seeds, right? And the ones that originated on Earth, they are younger souls. So that would be a difference. Bertha says you love feeding them always, and you do feel blessed. That's awesome. Warrior Girl, the Bible alone explains it. The acronym BIBLE means basic instruction before leaving Earth. That's funny. I guess it could be. Anna says, kind of random, but you'd love to hear about the statement, food is only energy. It can't make us gain weight unless we believe it. You know, Anna, I've been struggling with that same thing myself. I believe that's true. And we've actually seen that to be true for some people. Yet maybe that belief that it does make you gain weight is just so deeply entrenched. We haven't, most of us, gotten to that place where we can release it yet. It's something I'm working on. And I've asked many, many times, probably a block that I have that I'm not getting the answer. So maybe we can collaborate on that. Let's talk about it and see how we can break through that barrier, because it's true, yet something still blocks it. So there's got to be an answer to this. And if we could find that answer, what a blessing that would be to so many people. But yeah, that's a really important question. Let me just ask again, because you're asking it instead of me now. So maybe I'll get a different answer. So what can you tell Anna about food and calories and weight gain? Anything you want to weigh in about that? They're singing Let Your Light Shine. Oh, that's big, Anna. They're telling us to stop worrying about it. Let your light shine. It doesn't matter what size you are. It matters how much light you project to the world. Wow. That still doesn't solve our third dimensional issue with the weight, but maybe by letting that light shine, what they're saying is that we'll take the energy and use it up in our bodies. I think that's kind of where they're leaning to. We'll see if anything else percolates about that. Anything else you want to add about the light and the weight? Not get anything else right now, but maybe something else will percolate through later. Or, you might get something too, Anna, so keep us posted. Warrior Girl says the Christ consciousness. Yeah, we're seeing that expand. And for those of you who haven't heard the Christ consciousness as a term, know that it's not talking about Jesus specifically. That's important to say, because if you don't believe in Jesus, then you'll be turned off by that. No, it's more about the love for one another, expanding the world in the way that we are trying to do as souls right now. So being kinder to one another, accepting and sharing that love, treating one another as the beautiful, perfect souls that they are, rather than what our third dimensional brains and minds might think that they are. Anna says, amen to a really good time. Yeah, it's so important. And we forget that. We get caught up in these third dimensional cares and worries, and we forget we're supposed to be having fun. Me too, for all of us. So that's why they keep reminding us, because the more they do and we tune into it, the less often they're going to have to remind us. So whenever you think about it, just go do something that's fun, taking care of you, no matter how silly it might seem. It's the energy that's important. So just whatever you feel inspired or led to do, just go do that. Give yourself a break. You can find the time if you make yourself a priority. That's important. T-Barb says, thank you. I live each day in pure joy, but I'd love to see it more in the rest of the world. I remember that you mentioned critical mass, numbers of light workers. Yeah. Metatron keeps talking about that in so many messages. He's referenced that critical mass thing. So it's like this channel and so many of the other channels out there. Anna is doing her work. I think she has a channel. Put your channel link in the chat if you have one, Anna. I know you write on Medium, but I'm suddenly not remembering if you have YouTube. But all of us are out here sharing what we've gotten with the rest of the world. And that's important because we're all bringing that little bit. So different people will be attracted to different speakers. And I don't know what the word is. I'm blocked. But anyway, they'll be attracted to, to different people to get the message. The words come out differently. Like if you listen to Abraham, you're going to hear a lot of the same things that Metatron says, but the words are different because different people will react differently to them. That's why there's so much of it. So we're all out here, even if it feels like, we're swimming in this massive ocean and we're just making this tiny little impact. That impact matters to those who are here. Let's see, what have we got? 21 people, I think it says. So to the 21 people who are here now, and whoever hears this message in the future, it matters. So that's why each one of us need to be out there sharing what we feel led to share, plus our love and light, sharing it with that love and light, because it will matter to those people who needed to hear it. And you might be the one that was supposed to give that message to that person. But if you were afraid to share it, if you held back feeling, I don't really have anything to add to the conversation, I'm not good enough, whatever story you told yourself, that person doesn't get the message. That's why we're all being called to step up, to love ourselves, to accept that you really are magnificent, resplendent, brilliant, perfect. Let your light shine. Yeah, there's why that message keeps coming up. Don't dim your light. Let it shine. Full blast. Steph says that feels true. Awesome. Anna says, yes, let's do that. It came through in a client reading. You've been blown away since and wanted to ask about it with an Akashic connection. Yeah, awesome. And it's cool that we've been tapping into the same thing. Yeah, there's a reason for that, obviously. So yeah, we have to get together and talk about that. Bertha says, remember to send prayers to all the brothers and sisters around the world. Yeah. On that note, Bertha, I don't know if you heard the message where Metatron was talking about we are now being called to step up to a higher responsibility. So if you keep saying the same prayer over and over and again, it's like boring your angels. Now, it's not criticizing you, but it's asking you to step up to bring more to the table, right? Once you've asked for something, you've given it over to your angels, you don't have to keep asking because that's kind of like nagging. Trust that they're going to take care of it. So the same goes with the prayers. Let's come up with new, better prayers. Sending energy is always good because then that's not nagging, right? That's adding our energy and love to the collective. But when it comes to your prayers, you don't have to keep saying the same thing over and over again. If you do, there's no judgment. I want to make that clear. But step up, reach for more, ask for more, imagine more, because who knows what you'll tap into. Maybe you'll be the one that figures out this big mystery about calories and weight, right? Somebody's got to find that answer sooner or later, because we were not designed to have this problem. We were designed to be perfect, functioning, self-healing. These are machines we're living in here. They were carefully crafted, highly attuned. Somewhere along the way, it got off track. So how do we fix that? That's the big question. Anna, it's not necessarily a personal thing, but it has your head spinning with curiosity. Yeah, because it's a huge question that so many people are struggling with. Dakota Charm, you like the bright line eating? Maybe that will resonate with someone. Awesome. Yeah, I know you've had really good luck with that. KTC, I've always felt like there's a great deal of energy that will come into play from the Middle East, especially around Egypt. Does Metatron have any insight or supporting information about energy from Egypt? Okay, so what can you tell us? Is there some special energy from Egypt that's going to be coming into a play as we approach Earthtopia? Oh yeah, what it's about is that there's a lot of information, and I'm seeing things that are like, gosh, how do I explain it? It's these energetic things that are machines or tools or something that are secreted away in those pyramids and in that area. I know there's a connection from there. There's a portal from there. I've seen it. from the pyramids in Egypt to a space in the Grand Canyon in the rock. There's a, like a, I don't know if you'd call it a cave, but it's inside the rock there. There's this big space and there's more of that there. There's a portal where they can connect between those two places. Pretty much they've stopped using the one in the Grand Canyon because that one kind of got forgotten through the ages. But at some point, that's going to wake up. It's going to power up. And whatever's under Stonehenge is going to power up. There's all this stuff in the earth that's waiting for the right time to power up, to kick in. Oh, I just got a picture of it like terraforming the earth. Maybe that's what it's all about. So when we get to that place where we're ready for it, somebody turns the switch, all of those machines and that energy kicks into gear and it refurbishes, terraforms the earth. Maybe that's what it's about. That's a pretty cool vision. So we'll see if any more comes about that later, because that's all new. I knew those things were there, but I didn't get the thing about refurbishing Earth before. That's a whole new concept. I thought Earth was going to do it all on her own, but I guess she's got all these secrets that are buried inside of her that she's been keeping, and that will be part of the tools that she uses. That is really amazing. Anna says, yes, every channel has a purpose and their voice is needed in these times. Yeah, thank you. T-Barb, laughing, yes, get a technique from Metatron so when we send our light, it uses calories. That would be really fabulous. I'm going to ask. Doesn't hurt to ask. Anna's going to ask. We'll see what we can come up with. T-Bar. Oh, no, I got that one. Okay, Rebecca. Sorry to be late. Thanks for doing this. You are welcome. So glad you could join us. Awesome to have you here. Bertha says, that's so true. KTC, maybe that's why you feel it living in Arizona. Yeah, probably. There's stuff there. That vortex is there for a reason. There's powerful energy there that's coming up through the earth. Where I live in the Poconos, there are a lot of energy vortexes in here, and then a little bit south of us, there's a whole other set of vortexes. Those things have to be connected. There are probably ley lines connecting them and things that we haven't even thought about yet. So more of that will be coming forward in the future. We will understand it. And that's probably, oh, wow. Think about this with the fracking, how they might be disturbing that. I have to let that one simmer a little bit. Okay, so what I'm getting is, don't worry about that. Those places are protected by the energy, and they're probably too deep to be impacted by fracking. But still, I don't know, I could see that crack. Even wherever they stop, it could still reverberate down more. That's just got to stop, because that's totally destroying our home. I mean, what a moronic thing to do, to drill into our home. You got to wonder sometimes about people. Anna says, Edgar Casey channeled that one of Jesus's incarnations was Metatron. And she's asking, since I channel, do I agree? Yeah. In fact, I have a video about that. Metatron, first I got Jesus coming to me when I started doing this work, and then it changed to Metatron. And then one day I'm feeling this weird sensation. It's like, wow, this is really familiar. And what slowly percolated through was that the energy of Metatron felt just like the energy of Jesus. And I'm like, whoa, are you the same soul? And yeah, then I got the story. Metatron came first, because Metatron's at the right hand of God, was created at the very beginning. And Metatron periodically incarnates on Earth to help with his understanding of humanity so that he can serve at a higher level. Because remember, Metatron is assigned the care of humanity. So he came as Jesus. He came as Yogananda. He came as Buddha. There's a few others. And probably some that we don't even know. Because one time I asked, well, did you ever come as a woman? And I got a yes. So there were some lifetimes where it was very nondescript, just living like a regular person. And then there were some where, you know, it was that greater purpose. So, yeah. And I didn't know that that was one of Edgar Casey's prophecies. So thanks for validating that, because, you know, when I first got that, I thought I must be crazy. How can I get this? Nobody's going to believe it. And yet it felt really true. And the way it came through felt very pure. So over time, when I did research, I stumbled upon a few people that said the similar things. And now to hear that Edgar Casey got that, because we know what he got was really honest and true, because he was pretty much unconscious. So that's phenomenal. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. T-Barb, you were watching a video about Native Americans and Egyptians having contact somehow that's not explained. Interesting. Native Americans and Egyptians. Yeah, well, there were Native Americans in the Grand Canyon, right? So way, way back, you know, there might have been some kind of connection. The vision that I got on one of my journeys was being inside that opening in the Grand Canyon area. And what caught my attention is that there were Egyptian artifacts there. And I'm like, how could those be here? Because when this place was open and being used, how would they have gotten them from Egypt to here? They weren't traveling. And that's when I got, you know, that there's a portal there, but that portal had gotten collapsed at some point. So they weren't able to continue going back and forth. Those artifacts were left there. But that doesn't mean that that portal can't be reopened when the right forces with the right energy come who know how to do this. They'll open it back up again. And there was a way to escape from there to go into the fifth dimension, so they wouldn't have been trapped there. So they could go from the fifth dimension into that place in the canyon. They could go, you know, to those other spaces in the around the pyramids. And there's so much out there that we just don't know about yet. So many mysteries yet to be solved. And now I'm getting, you know, don't forget about the sea, that there's stuff under the sea as well, because those are all secret places that have been maintained without our present knowledge. When we are ready, we will be clued in. We're not ready. We are so destructive as a species right now that we can't be trusted with that stuff. So later on, we will be getting it. Bertha says, does Metatron have a message for me? Because you feel numb. I don't know if you meant numb. You feel Metatron's presence. Metatron has a message for everybody. You all need to understand that just because I'm talking to Metatron and a few other people are, doesn't mean you can't. Metatron is there for all of you. If you feel led to connect with Metatron, call on him. He will come to you. Might come as a female, might come as a transformer. You know, I get Metatron as a male, but that's just because of my stuff, and I like that form. But he's shown himself to me as a transformer. You know, I've seen the costume. Really funny. That was a joke, by the way, because the power that I felt from Metatron felt to me like what you see when you see that Transformer movie. So, you know, one time he showed himself like that. But whatever form, it's the energy that you're connecting with, the intention, the love. But connect with your guides, connect with whoever you feel led, connect with the archangels. You know, don't feel like you aren't good enough or you don't have the right. They are all there for you. They are all there to serve, to help you, little old you, with your soul journey so that you can expand into this most glorious being that you have the potential of being. So don't hold back. Don't play small. And it's not about ego. It's not about arrogance. You want to let all that stuff go. It's about being in that humble space, sharing that love, being awestruck by how deep and how powerful it is, allowing it to lift you up, to inspire you to do more. Because all of us have been playing way smaller than our soul wants to play. So we're being called now to step out of that, to really expand. Don't hold back. Now is not the time to hold back. We need everybody going full bore so that we can move forward into the love and the light to transform the earth. T-Barb says that portal you're talking about is what I'm talking about. Awesome. We're on the same wavelength. That's really cool. Thank you. Anna says it's very cool. The book about the many lives of Jesus is very interesting. And you love it putting the energies together. Yeah. Is that a Casey book? Many Lives of Jesus. I'll have to Google that. I don't think I've seen that book. That sounds really interesting. Awesome. Okay, you guys. We're only at 8:15. I can be here for a while longer. So if you got more questions, pop them in the box. Or if you're ready, if you've got enough, we can go. So you let me know. It's totally up to you. Anna says Casey's book. Awesome. Okay, I'll look for that. That's fascinating. I'm planning to go to Virginia Beach sometime this season to go to the Casey Center and feel the energy for one thing. But I want to, walk in the labyrinth, check the place out, just see what I'm led to see while I'm there. That place really calls to me. So I thought we would take a little vacation and go there and check that place out. Have you ever been to any of those places? Because I know they have several around the country. T-Barb says the angels want us to remember our power. We are magical. We've just forgotten. Yeah, we are. And when you tune into your angels, when you look for those messages, then act upon them, it feels like every day, this is how it feels to me. It may be different for you. It feels like I'm this little girl walking with bare feet on the sandy beach. And every few feet, I see this marvelous gemstone or some other treasure that's just lying there waiting for me to pick it up. It's so magical, so delicious, so exciting. That's what it feels like when you're gathering these messages from your angels and guides. And they are dropping those breadcrumbs all the time. We miss so many of them. So just think when you tune in and start getting more of them, it's like that concept they talk about that we only use 14% of our brain or something like that. So imagine if we went from that small part that we're using now of receiving messages, even doubling that, how much more magical that would feel. And so much easier because when you've got the insight and the conviction, the belief, the trust, the faith about what you're doing, what you're saying, what you're being, it just flows with so much more ease. And then you are inspired to do even more. We are climbing those steps to a higher vibrational frequency with all of our choices, with all of our actions. So it's just more. Stop once in a while, take a break, take a plateau and recharge your battery, but then keep going, because every day that you're here is a gift and a blessing. You really want to make the most of it. If we've seen nothing else or learned nothing else from all these tragedies, it's that any of us could be gone tomorrow. We don't consciously, at least most of us, don't consciously know when our time is up. We just know that we're not leaving until our soul says it's time to go. That could be decades, could be 2 days, who knows? So, treat every day like it is this beautiful gift. Make the most of it. And then when you get to the end, you won't have regrets. Because, I've talked to a few departed souls, and a lot of them have regrets, which shocked the heck out of me. I figured once you got to the other side, you would have let go of all that stuff. But no, there were things that they really regretted that they didn't do. They didn't do as well as they wanted to, or they didn't do them at all. So those things that you feel led to do, lean in, do them. Don't leave them on the table for another lifetime. You were inspired to do them in this lifetime. That means there's a reason that they're important, especially now. They're more important than ever. Bertha asks, what about sending love and light rather than the prayers that we were talking about? Yeah, love and light you can always send. And people ask sometimes, is it okay if I send healing to somebody or if I send love and light? Yeah, that's always okay to send. You don't need permission, because if they don't want it, they won't receive it. Remember, they're a sovereign soul like you are. So you are fully able to send whatever you feel led to send. Hopefully it's all good, right? Otherwise you're going off path. And they will either receive it or they won't. But you will get blessed by doing it because you wanted to do it, because you took the action. So it will bless you, because those positive things like that you do boomerang back on you. right? And that's marvelous too. It's not that you're doing them for the boomerang, of course. That's just a side benefit. So who knows what new insights or opportunities that might bring to you. So just keep doing what you feel led to do. Your angels will not steer you wrong. They always have your best interest at heart. Anna, you live nearby in Wilmington, so it's close. Awesome. I will let you know. Yeah, that would be fabulous. That's exciting. Thank you for sharing that. Flora says, wow, that would be great. Better conversations with people. Yeah, as much as possible. You just want to always lean into the positive, uplifting stuff. And as much as you can, stay away from the negative. Again, it's acknowledging that it's there. We don't want to do the spiritual bypass that some people talk about, where you just pretend that negative thing doesn't exist. We got to be living in this third dimensional reality too. So yeah, we see it exists, but we don't have to engage with it. We don't have to lend our energy to it. We don't have to let it drag us down. We can say, okay, you stay over there, you do your thing. I'm going to keep going here on my path. Dakota Charm, which grounding rituals are good to be doing these days? Anything you feel led to do is good. On the channel, there are a whole bunch of meditations. There's a playlist. You've probably seen them. And some of those have grounding. I think they're labeled if they're grounding. But really, because you're so connected and you're expanding already, I would just, go into meditation and ask them to help you with the grounding and see what you get. Because, through the years, the groundings that I've gotten have changed a lot. In the beginning, I had this concept that when you ground, this big, powerful blast of white light comes into your crown chakra and pounds through your body and pounds into the earth, real forceful. And so I got that for a really long time. And then one day I heard this voice say, why are you doing such violence to Mother Earth? It was like, oh, okay, get it. And then it started coming in gentler. Didn't need to be so powerful, but I was new and exuberant, and that's how it came through, which is fine. But when you know better, you do better. So whatever feels right for you, for where you are, do that. That's perfect. It can be anything. You could see yourself encased in an egg energy ball, whatever. See yourself holding onto grapevines or something like that between creator and earth, being grounded. Ground yourself to a tree. You could do that too. Connect to the roots of the trees. Sometimes in my groundings, my cord that goes down into the earth will spiral out with like roots, and it will connect with the roots of the trees, and they will interweave. Wow, is that a powerful grounding? Because it's like you're holding hands with the trees, and it just feels so wonderful. So allow it to be whatever it wants to be. You can use meditations that are pre-recorded, like the ones I've got, but when you are ready, just ask for whatever you can get from your guides yourself. You might be amazed at what comes through. And then when it comes through, just flow with it. Don't try to change it because you think it's wrong. Don't judge it. Just go with it, because that's when you will discover more doors opening, more realizations coming in, more wonderful magic. It feels incredible. And then you can share those with people, because when you get them and they're so amazing like that, you have to share them, right? Somebody out there will appreciate it and will need it. It'll be perfect. Let me take a sip, you guys. Getting a little parched here. Anna says she heard a podcast interview with one of the original founders of the Casey Foundation, and you've wanted to visit ever since. You can't remember his name, but happy to look it up. Awesome. I might have heard that. I heard something not long ago by one of the founders. White-haired guy, looked to be medium height. I think he had glasses. But yeah, that would be amazing. And so much more fun to do it with somebody else, right? Okay. Kelly to Dakota Charm says, you don't need a ritual. Just send a cord from your sacral chakra into the center of the earth, pull up the earth energy, and you're grounded. Perfect. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, it's really intention, you guys. You are this powerful creator of your reality. What do you intend? If you intend to be connected, you could simply say, activate grounding, and bam, it would be done. That's all you would have to do. You are that powerful. Now, I don't recommend doing that if you're new at this stuff, because you want to understand what you're doing. It has more impact. But once you've done it a lot and it's comfortable and natural to you, you could do it that simply. Just say activate grounding and it would be done. You get to create the reality. It's like, how mind-boggling and marvelous is that? When you take that concept and apply it to everything in your life, imagine what you could accomplish. I don't think we can imagine it right now because it's just so far out there. But what if you were led to go discover one of those hidden places on the earth? You could set your intention to do that. Your angels could guide you there, help you figure out how to gain access, learn what's there. Just so much waits for us out there. It's just having the intention and then taking the action to go do it. And then maybe you want to write a book about it and share it with people because they need to know, right? And for any of you guys out there, if you ever thought about writing a book, do it. Don't let anything stop you. If you've got a story to tell, then you've got to go tell it. Don't worry about the rest. You'll figure that out. Just get it written, get it out there. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You can get people to help you make it perfect. Just get it down in some format and then move forward with it. Kelly says, walk barefoot on the earth and ground yourself. Yeah, that's a great way. I used to go barefoot all the time as a kid until I stepped on one too many bees, and then I stopped doing that. But yeah, walking barefoot on the earth does feel wonderful. Elf Terry says, thank you for inspiring. Oh, I'm so glad. We'll keep sending you positive energy for your housing dilemma, Elf Terry, but let us know how that is going. And if you're available on the third Saturday, join us on that Zoom call. And for any of you here that haven't joined us before, go to, I'll type it into the thing for you, but you go to akashaunleashed.com/VIP to get on my VIP list. And then I will send you a Zoom link for the third Saturday of the month. We meet at 11 a.m. I think I got that right. Let's see. Yeah. We meet on Zoom at 11 a.m. for about 90 minutes. Sometimes it goes a little longer, depends on how many people show up. That call, I answer personal questions. That's the place to bring your personal stuff because they're on Zoom. It's a different kind of connection. So I'm able to get more for you, right? Personally. So that's something I do for all the people in my tribe who are people who sign up for this VIP list. And it's a different experience entirely. So that's why I don't do the personal questions here. They aren't as easy to do in this form. The energy is different for me. So we do them on the Zoom. Plus, if I started answering personal questions here, you guys, we'd never be done. I'd be sitting here all night answering questions. So yeah, we just keep it to metaphysical here. Okay, Maria. A deceased person could be reborn in another body as a mature gay. Don't mean as a baby, instead of as a mature person. No, not like that, because they would be displacing the soul that is there. But it could happen if it's a walk-in situation. So let's say there's this mature person, and for whatever reason, that soul is just done. They want to exit the body. There's another soul that's been wanting to jump in. So somehow they hook up, the angels work all those details out. They hook up and one soul exits the body, the other soul jumps in. That's a walk-in. They take over the life of that person. So they didn't get born as a baby and grow into a body. They borrowed somebody else's because it was available. That does happen. I actually know somebody I've actually met two people who are walk-ins. There's probably a lot more. I can't even imagine what that experience is like. Got to be mind-blowing, but that it can happen in that way. I don't know if that's what you're asking about, Maria Laura. So let me know. T-Barb, you wrap your toes around stones and rocks and the earth to ground. Wow, you're going to hold your toes with the tree. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, you know, the trees, you guys, there's so much more to the trees than we have been conscious of. There's a story I shared on my blog. I need to get that thing transferred to Medium somewhere people see it. But it was one of my meditations I went in, and I was met with a group of trees. They had uprooted themselves and they walked up to me and had this conversation, which was mind blowing in itself. They explained to me that they actually have the ability to do that, but they've chosen not to. Many eons ago, the trees decided to volunteer to be sentinels for humanity. And they've been doing that ever since. They know that we cut them down, that we use them for furniture and, burning and all sorts of things, which, of course, they're not happy about, but some of them know that's going to be their lot in life and they accept it, just like animals know that they are going to be food for somebody rather than living a long life. So that's just part of the gig. And despite all of that, they decided to be sentinels for humanity, to stand and watch over us. So they delivered this really amazing message and talking about energy and things that were so over my head at that time. I kind of understand it more now, but it was really some advanced principles. So yeah, there's way more to trees, and I think we owe them more love and respect than we might have been given them. So it's wonderful that you're connecting in that way, T-Barb. You might try and have a conversation with them, see what you get, because they seem to be willing to communicate. They're all on board with us, which is really amazing too. Maria Laura says, did I really talk to Robin Gibb? Yeah, I did. And the funny thing about that, I wasn't going looking for Robin Gibb. I mean, I love the Bee Gees, big fan. Robin was not my favorite, but one day I was meditating and he kept popping in. So it's like, okay, I set aside some time and it's like, you want to talk now, Robin? I'm here, let's talk. And, he shared all that stuff. It was important for him to share because he did have regrets. He was not the best father. He was not the best husband. There were things he wanted to accomplish that he didn't. And there was that big issue with his big brother, Barry, that they clashed a lot. There was a lot of jealousy. And now from the soul perspective, he could see that that was just such a waste of time. So he and the rest of the family are looking forward to when Barry joins them and they can work these things out, connect in a whole different way. But yeah, they're all deeply connected. And it was a really phenomenal conversation. So let me know if that answers your question. T-Barb, you keep forgetting. You have to write yourself a note. I have to do that sometimes because there's so much stuff coming through. It's amazing. If you don't write it down, it's just gone and on to the next thing. T-Barb, you keep forgetting. You mean to, oh, I said that already. Did you mean about the trees or about the VIP list? Because if it's the VIP, just go grab it now and bring that window up and then you can take care of it when we're done. Steph, it's 6/20 is the date of the third Saturday. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I didn't have it on the top of my mind. Flora, I told you a couple of months ago that you would get a job in June and you just got a part-time job with a friend's hubby that has a small business. Awesome. He said, boy, the Akashic records really pulled through. Thanks. You are so welcome. It's funny. I just got a note from somebody today who said that I had told her daughter that she was going to move or get a new house or something like that in May. And it turned out in May, she was having a major surgery, but now she's moving. So it got delayed a little bit. But yeah, it's phenomenal how the records can tell us about future things, with the caveat, of course, always that if you make different choices, that can change the timeline, right? Things can move into a different direction. Your guides have to get out there and scurry around to rearrange all the synchronicities that would lead you to that eventuality, which might then be different because of the choice that you made or the other person made if it was two getting together. So it can change, but very often it's correct because your guides know you so well. They can see where you're going to go. They can predict it. So they can give you that information. But yeah, it's wonderful. So thanks for that validation. I don't hear usually from people to find out whether what came through actually did happen for them. So It's always fun to hear about that. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, you meant the meeting, T-Barb. Awesome. Yeah, I got that in the after effect. It clicked in. Oh, you were probably talking about the VIP thing. I would love to have you join us. That would be so awesome. Warrior Girl, you had a walk-in for a while after an NDE. That's fascinating. So how does that work? Because my understanding of walk-ins is they stay, they don't leave because your soul exited. You can't have two souls in the body. There is such a thing as soul shifting. Very rare, where you can have multiple souls. They're popping in and out of the body. They're sharing one body. And that's not a good situation. There's a whole procedure that can be done through the records to help that person eject the souls that don't belong there to leave the soul that actually belongs in the body, which may have been the first one or it may not have been. Because sometimes in rare situations, a soul is waiting to jump into a body. It's all prepared. This is where its home is going to be for the next lifetime. Something happens and another soul jumps in there and essentially kidnaps the body before that second that was supposed to be the original soul gets in there. So that's not a good situation. And that can be resolved with using, this process, this clearing process and installing the appropriate soul. But that's really complicated and deep stuff. And like I said, it's very rare. I don't see it showing up all that often, but it can. So I'm wondering about yours, Warrior Girl, how that worked for you. Kat is asking, how many lives does the soul live? We don't know. We haven't been there yet. We're eternal, right? There are a lot of people who will come to my Zoom call and they'll say, so how many lifetimes have I had? And I can ask. Usually it's somewhere around 2,000 to 3,000. It's in that range right now. So far, that's what it's been. There might be older ones too, because there are some really old souls hanging around, but they're probably not coming for readings, which is why so far I haven't gotten anything bigger. But if you think about it, there is no limit. We're still going. We are timeless, eternal. I don't know. There's no limit right now, unless Creator changes things. We go on forever. So millions it could be, right? Let me know if that answers your question. Eleutheria, you wish to everyone all the best. Thank you you have to go to sleep. Oh, yeah, you said it was 2 a.m., right? So now it's what, 3:30 a.m. Thank you for being with us. We really appreciate it. Blessings to you. Oh, Metatron says you're welcome. Steph, you salute trees often. That's beautiful. I'm sure they appreciate it greatly. Rocks too. You can do that with rocks. There's a place nearby here that this guy set up like a smaller scale version of Stonehenge. He had these big rocks brought in. He had this vision that was given to him to create this sanctuary. So he has the big stone circle. He's got a few other big stone formations around the property. You can go there and you can hike and go through it all. Those stones have amazing energy. I've gone and just put my cheek against the rock, my arms around it. Sometimes I get colors. Sometimes I kind of feel buzzy energy. So there's a lot there to be connected to. And it doesn't have to be a massive rock either. You can connect to a small rock. This teacher I had early on when I was learning animal communication, in our class, somebody brought her this little rock, like so big, that they had gotten from this cave that had recently been opened. These stones had never seen the light of day. They had always been underground. So she was really excited to hold this stone in her hands. And she got this big giggly smile on her face. And she said, this rock sings. And I'm in my head wondering, what do you mean, like a song? And so I said, do you mean it hums? And she said, yeah. So it was like she was perceiving the energy of the rock, like humming, buzzing, singing kind of a thing. So it's out there for all of us to discover these wonders. Get out there in nature, make contact with these things and see what you discover. You might end up having whole conversations with rocks or trees or something else. Just be open to it. And of course, animals, the animals love to have conversations with us. They love it when we open up and actually acknowledge that they are a sentient being. So there's consciousness everywhere. It's just a matter of having the desire to tap into it. Let your imagination soar and see what you can discover. That's more of the exciting miracles that we can have every day when we just open ourselves up to what the universe has to offer to us. Oh, and I just got this other hit. That's like the people who go outside at night and they find themselves compulsively sometimes gazing up at the stars. If you're one of those people, you are a starseed. You're probably at a very deep unconscious level feeling drawn to your original home. You just don't know what that's about, right? I hear this from so many people who are starseeds. And the people who come to me are all starseeds, by the way, but not all of them have that draw for homes. Just some of them do. So if you feel that draw, tap in, ask them to communicate with you, see what you get. You might be amazed because you all have the ability to tap in with these other consciousness, with the energy to get information. It's just a matter of relaxing, leaning into it and allowing it to come. When you do it, it's going to feel like you're making it up. You're not. If your intention is to connect with that consciousness, you are connecting with that consciousness. So whatever you get, be grateful for it, ask for more, and then just keep practicing. That's how you expand into being able to channel. You all have the ability to channel. It's there for you. Nobody is special in that respect. We all have it. Because think about it. What sense would it make for Creator to make us to be able to talk to us and we couldn't ask questions and be able to hear the answers? That wouldn't make any sense, would it? So we all have that ability. It's just, the organized religions hid that from us for a very long time because they could control us. If we had to go through them to get the answers, we don't. You don't have to go through me or anybody like that to get your answers. Now, if you need to get it sooner, then you can do it on your own. Great, that's what we're here for. But you can do it yourself. So a big part of my mission is helping you to understand that you have that power. It's there. You've always had it. Now it's just a matter of practicing. So, and that's why Metatron, created that 21-day meditation challenge in the book, The Path to Hearing Angels and Guides. So some of the people here tonight are in that group. And I think pretty much everybody who's done that challenge has connected at some level, some more than others, but it's the doorway. Metatron gave you this perfect process for 21 days to help you do it, to just lead you by the hand very easily into that communication. And then from there, you just keep practicing. It gets better and better, but that's available to you as well. So that book you can find on Amazon. It's called The Path to Hearing Angels and Guides. You might want to check it out. I translated it from Metatron, so it's technically my book, but it's Metatron's book, and it was meant for all of you. Warrior Girl, you anchor your Earth Star chakra into Mother Earth for grounding while meditating. It's beautiful. Yeah, I love it. And what you're demonstrating is you're using your own creativity to do it in a way that feels right to you, based upon your beliefs, your comfort level, your visions. And that's just so marvelous. So more of that for everybody. Kelly, you got to go. It's been great. Thank you. You are so welcome. Thanks for being here. Rachel had to go too. See you tomorrow. Yes. Warrior Girl says namaste to Eleutheria. Wishing you the best. There's some buys here. Bertha says that's good. I forget what you're talking about now, Bertha, but that's okay. We'll take the good. T-Barb, oh yes, you're very close with your tree. Hug her a lot. Just never thought to ground your toes to her roots. And you thought that sounded perfect. Oh, that's so wonderful. I look forward to hearing how that goes for you. You're going to have some really great stories to tell. And if you feel led to write, please do. Write and share those stories. You can put them on Medium. You can do that for free, whether you're a member or not. You can set up a free account and put stories there. Anybody can. It's really cool that you can do that. Or, share them in some other format. But yeah, Share them because you'll inspire other people to do the same. You might start this whole movement of people connecting their toes with the roots of the trees. And how wonderful would that be? You were probably in a past life one of the druids, T-Barb. I just got that. I can see you connecting with the trees, and that's why you still have that deep love. It's still there. Warrior Girl, it was about 13 years ago. You were on autopilot, just going about the motions. Interesting. That's the soul shifting thing you're talking about. So it's like that other soul just came in temporarily, and then when you came through whatever you were going through, it was kicked back out and you came back in? Or do you think the other soul stayed? That's the big question. KTC, you feel even though the energy is getting denser, the veil is thinning. Will the great battle involve all our angels and Metatron fighting beside us? Yes, the veil is thinning. We talked about this just today in the Facebook group that I've been feeling. It's like it's just right there. It's so much closer. Things are coming through faster at a different level than they ever have before. And it's almost like having one foot here in the third dimension and the other foot in the fifth dimension. And so you're getting both inputs at the same time, which is kind of a mind-bending trip in itself. But yeah, it's there. They want us to connect. So that's why it's thinning. And yes, Metatron and all the angels will be fighting beside us. They have their angel armor on. They're ready to go. They're just waiting for us to step it up and be ready to join arms with them. And we will have armor as well, metaphorically, of course, because remember, it's a psychic battle. It's not a physical battle. We're not going to be getting out there with swords and things. It's a psychic battle. That's why we have to stay so sharp and not let that darkness pull us in. Kat says, amazing, very cool. Thank you. You're welcome. Warrior Girl says, yeah, rocks have souls too. Awesome. Maria Laura, which is the best way to live this life, considering we did a lot of mess trying to be happy and now we're leading with the mess that we did? Yeah, we all did. So don't feel bad about it. Whatever is past is past. You can't change it. All you can do is take the lesson, learn from it, move forward, making better choices in this lifetime. That's really what it's all about. You know, there's more to it than that, of course, but most of it we're not conscious of. So in this lifetime, just be present, connect with your angels to let them help you. But in each time when you make a choice, feel it in your solar plexus. Choose the one that feels the very best, that lights you up, that excites you. When you do that, you're on the path. You're choosing from your soul rather than from your ego, which is what you want to do. We are all in the process of shifting out of ego functioning into soul functioning. And beyond that, we're coming into oneness with an ego, soul, and higher self. That's the ultimate, right? So there's no separation. We are all together on the same path in agreement and oneness. But while you're getting there, ego is going to try and pull you back, get you off path, because ego wants to keep you safe till you die. That's the job of ego. So as much as possible, lean into soul, feel, and make your choice based upon that. And you will find that you have more happiness, more success, more being in the flow, which is what you want. Steph said she collects rocks. Kids always ask what you want from a trip, and usually younger than high school. But a student brought you one from the beach this semester. A high school senior brought you a rock. How cool. And because they took the time and had the thoughtfulness to gather it for you, must have deep meaning for you. That's beautiful. And of course, that says a lot about what your students think about you too, doesn't it? That's really a blessing. Okay, we're getting near to 9 o'clock, so we're going to start winding up here. I think I can get through the rest of the questions by then. Let's see. T-Barb, you love rocks, just plain rocks, not crystals, but just rocks. They feel powerful, peaceful, and calming. Yeah, they do. And, I think that's that druid connection to the trees and the rocks, right? Knowing that there's something really powerful in there. I had a vision one time of Stonehenge, and they showed me what the stones looked like back in the early days when they were active, because they've been deactivated. That's the thing that's going on with them. And I could see there was, it almost like machinery in the rocks, if that makes sense, but not really machinery. It was energetic. There were colored lights flashing. There was a purpose. I think they were like a portal. It's not 100% clear what it was all about, but there was something going on there. There were things beaming back and forth, whether actually or just sending energy, I'm not sure. But at some point in time, something occurred that caused that to shut down. Now, I don't know, because they haven't shown me that yet, whether it was humanity got too far off track and we couldn't have that responsibility or, the ability to do that anymore. So it was shut down. But it's not dead. It's just kind of like in stasis, waiting for, again, Earthtopia, when it's safe to power it up again. And, now I'm getting that picture. They're going to help with the terraforming process. So bringing that extra energy in. KTC, you've always loved seashells since you were a kid. Special energy. Yeah, that's beautiful. Kat, what's going on tomorrow? Rachel's having a reading tomorrow, so I'm going to see her tomorrow, because I do most of the readings I do on Zoom, so I actually can see the person, which is really wonderful. So yeah, so that's private, not public. Sorry. T-Barb, a druid. That's why you love the stories. Yeah, and magic. You're so welcome. Yeah, I got that picture of the druids when you were talking about trees. It just popped in. So yeah. And you were probably in leadership because you are a leader, so that would have made sense. Warrior girl, you were told you were a high priest druid about 5,000 years ago. You heard today that they called themselves Merlin. There wasn't just one. Oh, that's fascinating. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Because Merlin wouldn't be a name, rather it would be a title, indicating that, they served in that position, and there would have been multiples. Very cool. That makes sense. I can see you doing that. KTC, staring up at the stars. You did that a lot in your youth, and you loved looking at Orion's belt. Well, Orion's belt is the approximate area where the Palladians come from. So you might be Palladian. I think there's another star group from that general vicinity, but I forget what it is right now. Warrior girl, you really appreciated the newsletter this week? Okay. I don't remember what I said. So much stuff comes through. I have trouble retaining it. It's like short term, but I'm glad, I try to put extra love and energy into each of those newsletters, because it's so important that you guys know how important you are, that you are a part of what we're doing here. I'm not doing this alone. I couldn't do it alone. I need all of you. You need me. We all need each other, and holding on to that. It's what it's all about. That togetherness, that oneness, that we're all connected to Creator, all one. So thank you. I'm glad it resonates for you. KTC, same for you. You were worried and felt there was a blockage. Steph says, thank you. Warrior girl, it's nice to know it's not just us. No, not just you. Everybody. We all feel it at different levels. I have my days where, the shooting in Texas, that was really hard it felt like being hit with one of those rams they used to use in the medieval ages to take down the doors of the castle, the moat, when they go across the moat and they take that battering ram to open the doors. It felt like getting hit with one of those and the solar plexus being knocked down. Even though from the soul perspective, I knew that was the choice of those souls. They made that sacrifice for all of us. because that was to make a bigger impact, to get people to wake up already. So when you know that, it helps to not go into the dark side of it. And yet they were still people. They were, part of families. People are devastated by this. And oh, the trauma of those children and the little kids talking about putting blood on their faces and playing dead. I'm like, oh my God, what 10-year-old or 11-year-old has the presence of mind to do that? That alone, that was stunning. And what does that say? On a soul level, somewhere deep inside, not consciously, they had that greater awareness and perspective so that that presence of mind was there for them to survive, because they weren't supposed to die in that massacre. They were supposed to survive, yet they're going to be living with all that trauma. So, you're juggling that back and forth, trying to make sense of it. From the third dimension, it's just devastation, it's tragedy. But from the fifth dimensional perspective, it's part of the plan, part of the great tapestry that we're weaving here. It was necessary, and we can honor their sacrifice. It was a very sacred and profound thing that they did. So yeah, we all have to deal with those things and then do our best to make our way back, which is why connecting with each other is so important, because we support one another during those times where maybe you're knocked down and you can't see the soul perspective in that moment. So your brothers and sisters come and they help you see it. They help you get back up. Maybe I get knocked down and you come and remind me, don't you remember you told us this already? And you help me get back up. That's what we're doing. That's supporting of one another. That's helping to add to the collective love energy that's out there, so that we can have that sonic boom of love that's just going to flow across the planet and transform it. That's the terraforming I keep seeing from that sonic boom. It's a massive power. It's a huge miracle that's coming, maybe in our lifetimes, we hope. KT says, thank you for everything. Look forward to this. You're so welcome. Me too. It's fun to gather with you guys and see what questions you bring, because you bring up things that I might not have thought about before, which can lead us down another path to learning new things to share with everybody. So it's really exciting. That's why we're doing metaphysical chat here, because we can just be limitless. There are no boundaries to metaphysical. Where will it take us? What new things will we learn? And we're in a hurry to get more sooner, right? So this is prime time to do that. Warrior Girl, you found Starseed.teachable with Julia, who's from Ireland and does galactic astrology. She's bringing up Orion's belt, and it reminded you to share. Awesome. And you're saying you forget where I'm from. I'm from Alpha Centauri, which is out there somewhere. I don't remember exactly where it's at, but it's one of those planets that we don't know as much about, but I have visited there in my meditation journey. So I've seen it, I've met the people and got a feeling for their culture and their social norms, which were very different from what we have here. And that's pretty cool. But that's something I do in the soul introduction reading, is I tell you about your gift. I tell you about your planet of origination, where you're a starseed from. I tell you about your soul specialty. We check your soul gender, because sometimes it's different from your body. And that's important to know if it is different. And, then we put all those pieces together to explain to you how you are this unique being that you are, because you are. Every soul is unique. So it's putting those pieces together and then seeing how they each impact upon the other piece to make the whole that is you, that makes you different from everybody else. And then connecting the dots to who you are in the present, which explains to you choices that you have made, experiences that you've had. It's like, I see this visual of like unzipping your top of your head. It pops open and you can see right into the interior of you, of the truth of who you are at soul level. It's so deep. And then your head zips back up. That was a good one. Okay, thank you. But yeah, so I do that in the soul introduction. We dig deep into all these pieces, so that it's akin to standing in front of your creator, looking into creator's eyes and seeing the real you, the soul you reflected back at you. the truth of who you are. It is profound, it's sacred, it's phenomenal. It's just over the moon fabulous. Just a real blessing. Yeah. T-Barb says, thank you. You enjoyed the time together. And you were rammed with a battering ram too. Yeah, I think a lot of us were. It was massive. And the community helped you to get back in the correct frame of mind. Yeah. Warrior Girl says, thank you. You know, this is kind of dark, but I just want to share this one little thing with you before we sign off. I was so hoping that some of the families of those children would take a page out of Emmett Till's mother's book and let pictures of those children be seen, because I think that's what it's going to take to wake people up from their selfishness. They are so selfish. They would rather have their gun than save the lives of these babies. And I think if enough people saw the horror of what those bullets did to those bodies, that would wake them up. And sadly, we've had a lot of shootings since then, so it's not waking them up fast enough. We need something that's really going to shake the shit out of them. Damn it. Sorry, I just got to project that. It just needs to happen soon. It's got to happen soon. We can keep projecting love. We keep projecting love till we get through this thing. It's madness. We will get through it, but in the meantime, it's not a lot of fun. So if you need help, reach out, lean on your light worker friends. Let's stay strong together. And we'll be back here again next month on the first Monday. Don't forget, first Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to join my VIP group, then you'll get that email invitation to join me on the third Saturday for the Ask Your Guides live, where I will channel any questions you want channeled. We do that for usually around 90 minutes. Sometimes it goes a little long, but yeah, and that's energetically, it's a very different experience because we can see each other on Zoom. So it brings a different level to it. All right, you guys, let's see. T-Barb says, I'm with you. After that, it would be shameful to keep that stand. Yeah. I think they would be shamed into changing at that point. It would just be such a massive movement. They couldn't stand up anymore because it is selfish. Warrior Girl, automatic guns were made for war and you can't use them to hunt. Yeah. Yeah, it's an insanity that's got to go sooner than later. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you. Much love and many blessings to you. See you next month.